I was raised in a very conservative, very sheltered, homeschooled household. I was not allowed to watch or read anything worse than mild PG if it had magic, evolution, disrespected authority, inappropriate humor, etc. As a child, I would hyperfixate on a few pieces of media, including Ninjago, the Ninja Lego series, and Spider-Man, less so. With the internet being pretty locked on the home computer and not being allowed to check out any of the books at the library, I would spend hours flicking through Wikipedia pages, reading episode and comic summaries, and trying to imagine the missing pieces of the episodes and dramatizing fights in my head, etc. At 14, my mom signed me up to volunteer at my local library. I worked there, and later started lying to my parents about timing. I would say I was done at 5, when I was only scheduled until 4 to 4:30. I would then grab a Ninjago or Spider-Man comic, or heaven forbid the manga edition of Maximum Ride by James Patterson, and sit next to the window where I could see the parking lot and devour the books, speed reading like I would go to jail if caught curled in a ball to hide the book cover from the librarians as if they would tattle. I then lied for almost a year to my parents every time they picked me up, pretending I had volunteered the whole time. I think one time my mom asked me directly, and I lied to her face, that I wasn't reading the inappropriate books I was shelving. I'm now a 3D modeling and animation major who wants to work as a concept artist. Younger me was starving for whimsy and adventure, even as a good kid. I broke the cardinal rule of never lying to your parents in desperation to access something other than the non-fiction or historical fiction that was being given to me at home. Stupid story, but to this day, I've only told one sibling about this. I'm in a dead-end job that I've tried for 5 years to get out of, only to be met after every interview with, "Sorry, you were perfect for the role, but we went with someone with more experience." So much to the point that I'm jaded with the industry I work in. My love life feels bleak. I try really hard with my partner, but I feel like I'm more a caregiver than the love of her life. I do everything: cook, clean, work, grocery shopping, pay bills to help keep us afloat, with her part-time, full-time streamer lifestyle. We've gone to couples therapy to work on our issues, but it feels like even the therapist doesn't see that how I feel and how one-sided it is mentally affects me. I'm almost 30, literally in a few months, and I feel like nothing has worked out for me the way I hoped it would. I constantly feel like I'm a burden if I feel upset or sad. In my friendships, I always become the one that people vent to or dump their shit on. Then when I pull back because it's too much, people get distant. Every week for the past 3 or 4 weeks after I get home, I've sat in the driver's seat of my car, contemplating turning on the engine and sitting in the garage, listening to music and going out like that. But I stop because it feels unfair to everyone else. I don't feel like I'm living for myself. I'm tired. I want out. Back in the early 2000s, I was younger than 10, my family and I would go to Blockbuster to rent movies and get candy for movie nights. This particular Blockbuster was really small, but it was like 3 minutes away from our house. One night, after all day of running errands, my family made our trip to Blockbuster. We had eaten at a Mexican restaurant right before, and I decided I wanted spicy food this day. When we first got to the Blockbuster, I was fine, but things quickly turned as I started feeling the bubble guts. I knew this Blockbuster had no public bathroom, but I still thought I'd ask the worker, and his answer was, "I'll get fired if I let anyone in there." So I went and told my mom, "I have to use the bathroom really bad, and they won't let me use the one here." She replied, "I'm almost done here, just hold it." My mom was definitely not almost done. We always spent a lot of time there whenever we went. I tried to pace around the store and ignore it, But as time went on, the sensation got stronger and stronger. Eventually, it got to the point where I couldn't hold it anymore, so I went out of the Blockbuster to see if any neighboring businesses were open, and, of course, they were all closed. So I went back into the Blockbuster and tried to lock in and ignore the pressure. Another 10 or so minutes goes by, and I have hit my wall and can't hold it anymore. At this time, Blockbuster was doing a promo for Jurassic Park or some movie like that, so they had an elaborate set in the corner with fake trees and statues of dinosaurs. I made sure the coast was clear, and I jumped into the fake trees, ripped my pants down, and took a huge shit all inside of the display. I pushed super hard and made a huge mess. I quickly looked around to see if there was anything to wipe with, and there wasn't, so I pulled my pants up and sneakily exited the display. I found my mom, and she was finally almost done. We grabbed our movies and candy and went to check out. The entire time we were checking out, I was so nervous and could barely look the cashier in the eyes, but we made it out with no issue, LOL. To end a long story, a few days later, we went back to return the movies, and I noticed the display was taken down. I was sure they saw the shit, and were looking for me. I tried to tell my mom I didn't want to go inside this time, but she hated leaving the car running, so she made me come in. When we went in, nobody really said anything, but the same cashier that was there the other night was there again, and he kept looking at me like he wanted to say something but wasn't sure it was me. I never returned back to this Blockbuster. I'm 29 million. It's been 6 years since I turned down a love that could have been my greatest blessing. Back in university, I had a best friend who loved me deeply, but I never knew. She was always there for me, respected me, took care of me. She was everything I needed at the time. But I was so focused on building my career that I couldn't see it. Even when she proposed to me, offering financial support for my business, I refused. I told her I needed to focus on my future first. She told mutual friends, one day he will regret his decision. And she was right. She married someone else in the UK and built a stable, happy life. I lost contact with her. Now, 6 years later, I'm still struggling financially. I married a toxic, arrogant woman with zero mental peace and no respect. Every day with her feels like hell. I'm mentally sick, and when she abuses me in the middle of the night, I can't help but remember my friend, how she was there for me, how she treated me like a blessing. She gave me the respect and peace that I never found again. Life once offers you the chance for a good life partner. If you miss it, all that's left is regret. Edit. I never had a physical relation with my friend. She was virgin when she got married. I, unfortunately, am the oldest of 5 to a woman who did not know how to stop having kids and had severe attachment issues. This caused me to grow up feeling like I have to be exactly what people want me to be in order to be safe. It doesn't help that I am the only one mixed with black and white. Some of the others are mixed with Thai and white. And I genuinely believed that she didn't like me because of my race for a long time. She would punish many black traits I showed. I find that I have a very situational/avoidant attachment style. I go back to people who have once made me feel safe. And I try my hardest to be honest, but I end up painting a much prettier picture than is reality. I tell people what's actually going on, but I don't, because, unfortunately, I'm Miss Independent, who can figure out any problem for herself. Ultimately, I am actively in therapy. And I know it will work and take time, but I just want to be normal. I'm a 16-year-old boy from a poor country. I have 4 siblings, and I'm the first man of the family, except my dad, of course. My sisters are smart, so the pressure grows because I have to achieve what they've achieved, That's our mindset. Currently, I'm studying on the hardest strand of senior high school, probably in America or in other countries you don't have senior high school. I'm studying at science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM strand. Lately, the pressure grows a lot. The subjects are harder than expected, and it's hard to get a high grade. For context, the passing grade here in our country is 75%, and to enter a public university, you need 85%. I'm from a poor family, so I have to pass that 85%, while also working to help my parents to support my siblings. In addition, my frustrations grows more because the girl of my life has a suitor now. We've promised to each other that we will finish college first, then I will court her. The funny part is, she's always telling me about her suitor, like she don't remember our promises a year ago, or she just don't care about my feelings. I also help her to get closer to her suitor. She likes that boy. She's just waiting for the right timing. I have to pretend that I'm happy for her, that I'm fine, even though it really hurts me. Some people are telling me their problems because they say they feel relieved after I listen to them, but they don't know I'm the one who's experiencing the pain after they talk to me. I've read on the article that it was called emotional contagion and compassion fatigue, where I merely absorbs the emotion of the people I'm talking to. And since I'm exposed to it a lot, this is causing me mental breakdown and depression. I don't have someone to talk to, and I have to look, though, in front of my family members because I'm their role model and I serves as their parents, since our parents are always at work. These problems may be lame, but for a teenager like me who don't know what to do, it's a big deal. What should I do?